art is a spiritual technology.
Wherever I go, I can be like, okay, this is north, this is south because of Detroit.
All these cultures that are inside the city are what I like to put on a plate.
Stories and fantasies that last always have truth to them.
Detroit is the Black story.
This is Container on the Metro, a series uplifting the voices of Detroit creatives across food, art, music, and fashion. I'm Tia Graham. In this episode, we say what up, though, to Ijania Cortez.
Hey, I'm Ijania Cortez, fine artist and muralist.
Whether on canvas or a towering wall, Ijania Cortez creates radiant portraits that tell the city's story. She uses the full spectrum of color, often using neon to capture the essence of everyday Detroiters and larger-than-life icons. Her murals can be seen across the city, from Cutter's in Eastern Market to the Ruth Ellis Center's Clairmont building. In 2021, Ijania was the Kresge Gilda Snowden Emerging Artist Award winner. She was a collaborator with Hubert Massey and Detroit Institute of Art's Partners in Public Art Mural Program. She's participated in the annual street art festival, BLKOUT Walls, and in 2025, Ijania was a Ruth Ellis Center honoree and featured artist in Murals in the Market, hosted by One Time Run. Growing up on Detroit's East Side and Highland Park, Ijania began to hone her skills at an early age. Did you feel that the city, schools, whatever it may have been, helped foster that creativity inside of you?
Yeah, my specific school, Lawn Cathedral, which is a school that's no longer here. I know a lot of 90s kids that grew up in Detroit. We definitely attended those Catholic schools, Catholic, Episcopalian, all those. So I had a small, very, very small school, and I had like one teacher that was helping me to, once they figured out that I could draw a little bit. So Mr. Sims, rest in peace and ashe to the ancestors, but he was pretty much my rock and taught me how to paint, taught me how to render, taught me everything at like the tender age of 9. So I would say, yeah, I got what I needed from the city.
Yeah.
For sure. And its patrons and heroes. And yeah.
That's what's up. And when you were a teen and you're starting to really grasp this and understand what you're doing as a fine artist, what were some of the next steps for you in your mind to be a working artist? Or did you ever even see yourself as a working artist?
I did not at the time. At the time that was very much behind a veil to me, just because of the way I grew up and where I was in life. I did not take on art professionally until I was 28. So that was in 2018 when I decided to do that. But before that, it got away from me. And there's also this constant narrative of being a starving artist. It wasn't really seen as a career. Which at 28, I think at that point you had already had things that were working for you clearly because you were surviving and making it work. So, at 28, why at 28? Why pivot then? What was going on where you just said, I got to do this creative, I got to pursue it? It was barely working. It was barely working. It was working, but it was what I was working at, a big corporate thing here. And I was terribly unhappy, I do have, people who are close to me know I do struggle with rheumatoid arthritis. So my arthritis had just started kicking up. So it was just not a good time. And it was at that point was like a pressure cooker of like, why not? Like, I'm not doing anything here. I'm barely making money here. Like, all my people know, time working check to check. It was like, well, go to work for what? I don't have any money. So that was a point in my life where I'm like, all right, well, I got to do something else. And anything else is better than this. And so it started weighing on my heart. And I just quit on a Tuesday. I tell people don't do that, but
don't. On a Tuesday? You just walked out on a Tuesday?
I walked out on a Tuesday at like 2:00. Sorry, y'all. But it had to happen. It just had to happen.
That is wild. That is wild. Yeah, and
that was the last job I ever worked. You gotta bet on yourself. You got to. If I'm not betting on me, who else am I gonna bet on? You got to.
Ijania was creating works of art during her time in a corporate job. In 2017, she put her work on display, and the response was overwhelming. Ijania understood at that moment she could be a professional working artist in the city that raised her. So she began reverse engineering, researching, and uncovering how to turn her so-called hobby into dollars. By 2019, Ijania was commissioned to do her first solo mural titled Salvation Material for Murals in the Market. And in 2025, Ijania made a return to the festival, creating a larger-than-life tribute to the mysterious and beloved Detroit radio DJ, The Electrifying Mojo. I pulled up to Cutter's in Eastern Market while the mural was still in progress. As Ijania loaded her safety gear and spray cans into her lift, she explained why this mural was so important. What are you about to start?
I'm about to start laying out the grid for the rest of the wall. So I started this part yesterday just to kind of get started. I'm about to cover the whole wall.
And what are you actually painting this mural for?
Just to give somebody their flowers, just to give the Mojo his flowers, you know, for bringing craft work to Detroit, for bringing Prince to Detroit, knowledge of those things. So I think that obviously, you know, see how far that influence has stretched. So like, and 50 years later, here we are, and people are still loving house, like, you know, loving Detroit techno, Detroit electronic music. So I think that's important, you know, and I love the fact that he wanted to let his legacy be seen before himself. That's something that I kind of aspire to, you know, kind of get around. Like he don't worry about his face. He just worry about doing his craft and pushing the music. So I loved it. So I gotta, you know, pay homage.
What is it like to be a part of something like Murals in the Market?
It's just a homecoming, I think. You know, this was my first mural gig by myself, and I get to come and show my growth as an artist. I think the changes will be obvious, like the difference between 5 years and how, you know, how much that affects you, how much that changes you. So I think it's just a cool homecoming. It's nice to be appreciated,
exactly.
nice to be tapped to do something, you know what I'm saying, by people who are in your community. It just feels good to be thought of, you know. That's all that matters to me. So it's like, y'all were thinking about me, y'all want me famous, okay.
So, yeah, if you wanted to like go ahead and get started, we'll just kind of like...
Yeah, I'm gonna get it going. It's gonna be pretty. Luckily, this wall like gets a lot of light outside of Cutter. So I got these two lights here, and then I got like, this is all street lights. So
you can work in the night.
Yeah, I can work at night. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably be out here all night. So yeah, that's my mom in the car, by the way.
Hello. Hello, Mom. How are you? We're highlighting your daughter. We're making sure that everybody knows how dope she is. Of course.
Thank you. Okay, I gotta start this thing.
As Ijania got to work on her mural, I hopped in her mom's car to chat about her daughter's journey. Thank you, sir. Oh, my car is much worse, so I ain't even gonna hold you up. All right, Dolores, so talk to us a little bit about Ijania and where she got her love for art.
Well, Ijania didn't know she loved the art. It started probably in the 4th grade with her doing a self-portrait of herself. And I was like, there's something here. And we're very involved in the church. And so I was part of the drama department where I was over all the props and designs. You know, we did 2 big productions like Christmas and Easter. And so for Easter, I said, listen, I need like this really elaborate scene from heaven. It's got to look like you're in heaven and everything. People could not stop. They was too busy looking at her. So I knew, I said, she's got something here. So I told her, I said, you have a gift. She said, oh, this is going to be my hobby. I was like, okay. I didn't say anything else. But I knew I had to nurture it.
Where she started to where she is now in terms of the attention she's getting in the city, getting called from different people within the arts community, what does it feel like to see the fruits of her labor and your support and your labor here, you know, being recognized?
She has just flourished. And the way she sees things in colors. Now I don't have a painter bone in my body, but I can put things together and tell you what I want. But she is just that natural gift. And so I said, what made you... I asked her one day, what made you like, you know, with the spray paint, because she loves spray paint more so than the paint. She said, well, I got it from you. And I said, me? And she said, yeah, you remember when you used to spray paint the baskets and make gift baskets? She said, I was watching that. And my heart just...
And now you see what that watching you has turned into this.
Right, and I work for a nonprofit, always have, in the community. Everything that she's doing now, it involves the people, the community. Because she does really Black men within the community that they think somebody forgot about them. That's what I think. If I haven't gotten anything else, that right there will just be like, wow. Okay, my job is done. I'm good.
Ijania's mom, Dolores, has been right by her daughter's side, always knowing that her talent could become a thriving career. And over the years, Ijania and her work have stood out for the way she manipulates paint materials. So I was curious about her method to choosing colors.
I kind of have right now an order that I do things. So for me right now, it starts with color conversations because neon is kind of my main color. Everybody see me I do neon. So I try to figure out ways to stretch neon, to talk to neon, to get the best out of the color, to make the color do things that maybe somebody wouldn't have thought it would do, and it kind of comes from that. So once I start bending up colors and figuring out stuff like that, I just keep playing until I like it. A lot of times I tell people the painting all the time, my paintings never land where they jump. So wherever I start is never going to be where I'm at the end of my process. So, I just keep tinkering away. I keep sculpting. I like to say sometimes I think of myself as I sculpt with paint and not necessarily a painter in the sense of I go line by line by line, which is fine to do. That's beautiful. But the way I paint is more like a sculpting type situation.
You kind of see it in 3D almost. It's an amazing feeling. So when you use those materials, especially when you're using them to portray Black men and Black life in general, can you talk about what those lights and those colors and what it does to the storytelling on the canvas?
Well, first, for me, it oddly enough, it kind of adds an element of softness to it, even though the neon is so bright. So when I see these guys and I see so much light that's within them, within Black people in general, that neon, it gives my paintings a different level, I think, of vibrancy that I like to play with. It often represents a caution to get people to pay attention. And I think, obviously, our men are often taken as a danger signal when they're not. So, and it all comes together. It's like brightness, it's softness, it's caution, it's awareness, it's everything that would culminate if light were physically as a person.
Ijania prides herself in making sure the narrative and conversation about Black people, especially Black men, are being retold with her spray can and brushes. And now, nearly 10 years into her career, she's mentoring, helping aspiring artists learn the things she taught herself. The city of Detroit launched the Detroit Artist Apprenticeship Program, or DAP, in early 2025, inviting Ijania to be a mentor. As well, she was a featured artist in the annual Teen Summit hosted by Teen Arts Council. It provides space for teens to learn, share ideas, network, and create at the DIA. For Ijania, sharing knowledge and supporting fellow artists is key in building a thriving arts community in Detroit. So talk about being a mentor, what it's been like watching another generation or another group of folks coming up.
It's been fun. I try to work I'm more of a lateral mentor, so I like to think I'm working by my mentee side. I don't really try to work above anybody and let them do their thing and let them shine. It's been fun, and I could talk for days about art technique, so I just want to make sure people are respected as artists and they feel comfortable and you feel good asking me questions, getting all this kind of stuff, and it's pretty much worked out. Yeah.
And what can you say about the city of Detroit's efforts to put more resources into arts and culture right now?
And I hate to be a glutton. We need more. I want more from the city. I want more accessibility for artists. I want more voices for artists that meet actual artist concerns. I know a lot of times we're presented with things as like, you're giving me an opportunity. But I want the city to really, really pour into the arts on par and on level with other cities. Mm-hmm. Because as we're trying to build and get up to par with everything and restructure our city and do all this stuff, the arts also needs that type of push, that type of help, that type of actual funding, that type of access for practicing artists here.
You can keep up with Ijania Cortez by following her on Instagram and Threads at Ijania. You can follow her on Facebook at Ijania Cortez and her website, ijania.com. That's IJANIA.com. Container on the Metro is brought to you by WDET in collaboration with the Love Building and the Gilbert Family Foundation. This series is produced by Connor Anderson, Jose Yanis, and me, Tia Graham. Original music by Sam Bobian, audio editing by Connor Anderson, and our executive producer is David Lyons. To listen to all 12 episodes, check out The Metro on all podcast platforms or go to WDET.org/container.